What's up, world? It's your boy LavonThaOne, A.K.A. DJ Himalaya. Today's video is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and Camel Crush Menthols. Well, anyhow, went to see the Straight Outta Compton movie. I actually already watched it twice. I thought it was well put together. Very good movie. And of course, anytime you have movies that are based on true stories, they're based off someone's life, and I'm really addressing the issues that are going off on Twitter about, oh, they didn't put this in here, or oh, they didn't put that in here. Why did they talk about this more? Why did they leave this out? This is why I'm doing this video. Because, I could just take so much of this yip yapping, and I'm like, people, look, you're trying to take over a decade worth of footage and you're trying to cram it into about 2.5 hours. Now, originally, after watching so many interviews about the movie, the movie was damn near 3 hours long, which wouldn't have been a problem with me. I would sit there and watch it if it was 3 hours long. It wouldn't have bothered me none. But of course, they have to condense it down, and they broke it down to where I believe it's like 2 hours, 17 minutes, 2 hours, 20 minutes, something like that. But this is how it works. Anytime you have, what I almost consider a documentary or, the autobiopic, this is how it's going to work because people don't understand. You're trying to take, over a decade of someone's, not only one person's life, just, all these individuals' lives, and you're trying to pack it down into a 2.5 hour movie. Things are going to have to be cut, things are going to have to be condensed down, and things are going to get taken out. It's just how it works. Now, if this was a book, maybe my opinion would be a little bit different. But as far as I'm concerned, it was a damn good movie. I've seen it twice already. I seen it the day it came out, and I went back like a few days later to watch it again to see if I missed anything or I wasn't paying attention to anything. I thought it was very well put together. Now, however, there is a director's cut that I've been hearing about that came directly from Gary Gray. There is a director's cut, and maybe that might have some of the little bits and pieces that were missing that they took out the movie because, like I said, originally the movie was over 3 hours long. So I think people who are nitpicking at it don't really understand how these type of movies are made. Because you have a lot of people right now nitpicking at it. They didn't put this, they didn't put that. Oh, why did they talk about this more? You're trying to take, over a decade of all these individual lives and bring it together and, condense it down to 2.5 hours. And this is how it has to go. Now, of course, like I said, there will be a director's cut on it. And, that might have some of the bits and pieces. But overall, I don't care what nobody says. It was a well put together movie. I'm talking about start to finish. Because that was one of my main concerns going into the movie. Because when I watch movies like this, because I love watching movies that are based on true stories, even if they're not about music. The beginning's a little flat, and they spend too much time in the person's childhood, and it kind of gets boring, and then it doesn't really get exciting until almost the middle of the movie. This wasn't like that. Like, from the moment it starts and you hear that beat come on, and it just was good from beginning to end, in my personal opinion. So for those of y'all who haven't seen it, go see it. I mean, I saw it twice already. I'm actually thinking about going maybe possibly a third time to go see it on my next day off. But it was a damn good movie. It was well put together. But again, for all the people nitpicking at this movie, movies that are based on true stories, that's, you're trying to take over a decade worth of, these people's lives, and you're trying to condense it down to 2.5 hours. So, of course, common sense, they're not going to be able to fit, almost. You got all these years and years and years and years of these people's lives. They're not going to be able to get all of that into a 2.5 hour film. But for what they had and what they put in the film, I thought they did an amazing job. Like, and the director of the movie, who also directed Friday, he directed Set It Off. He's a damn good director. You know, I love his movies. If I know he's in charge of directing, I usually watch the movie anyway. Even if Cuban and Dre didn't have nothing to do with the movie. This director that they had, Gary Gray, he's a damn good director. So, and I thought it was very well put together. I mean, it was just well put together, very well put together. Okay, so now we're going to change topics a little bit while staying on the same topic. There's been some controversy out there about Dr. Dre. You know, everybody is like, why didn't he put in the movie about him beating on women? Now, most of y'all know about, the alleged beatings that took place between, it's actually quite a few girls involved. I know it was his baby mama. Then I know that was the host of a show. And then there's another woman, I believe, which was his former wife or some other. But anyhow, I was watching an interview today on it, a little clip. Because, right now, if I get on my Facebook, I get on my Twitter, there's just nothing but different websites that's bringing up, people putting their 2 cents in on the movie. Eazy-E's daughter, she went on Twitter and gave her views and opinion about it. Eazy-E's son, Eazy-E Jr., he's had his opinions about it. But that's probably the main one that's been coming up now is, Dr. Dre seemed like he was trying to hide that, he had a few run-ins with the law as far as these alleged assault and batteries on these different females. Now, reason why I say this topic should be left alone is because it's not a secret. Dr. Dre admitted it, not in the movie, but in documentaries in the past. He did VH1 Behind the Music, and there were little other documentaries. He did little 10-minute documentaries. He talks about it, and he admitted he was wrong. And the man's like 50 years old now. This is like when he was 20. I'm not condoning it. I'm not doing that. I'm not condoning it. What I'm saying is, people, you have to move on, is what I'm saying. Because he admitted to this, around when they did the VH1 Behind the Music on him. He addressed the allegations of him beating on women. And that was shit. That was when he had did shit. I want to say the Chronic 2001 was already out. But of course, there was the Chronic 2000 and the Chronic 2001 because Suge Knight wanted to be a little bitch. But yeah, I want to say that album was already out. And you think about how long ago that was. He admitted to it back then. So there's no real reason to dwell on it. You know what I mean? Well, like I said, I don't condone it. It's just one of those things. When what's understood doesn't need to be discussed when it comes to those situations. Because the way I see it, Chris Brown was beat. The Chris Brown Rihanna beating wasn't just. That's pretty recent. I mean, it's back there in the past, but it's still pretty recent. And people seem to have let that go. He dropped a few hit records and people forgot all about it. But, I feel that people are doing this. I feel people are being very biased just for that reason. Because, Chris Brown, the Rihanna beating was, it was some years back. But not nowhere near as far back as Dr. Dre and his alleged assault and battery cases. And, Chris Brown drops a few hits and you don't even too much hear about it no more. But the second Dr. Dre drops a movie, he's getting all this money now. The movie's very successful. People still want to bring it up. And I understand people are always going to bring it up because, that's luggage. It ain't going nowhere. But it's, people are trying to reopen wounds that are already healed. Is my thing. Is the point I'm trying to make, Once a wound is healed up, there's no need to reopen it and then go through another healing process again. And I'm sure that could be hard on both of them, Dre as well as the alleged victims, having to relive it all over again. Sure, he feels bad about it. He admitted to it that he was wrong years and years and years and years ago. But I remember seeing the VH1 music special behind it. Fuck, I was in like middle school or some shit. So, I think it's one of them things, the wounds are healed, leave them healed. There's no need to keep reopening wounds because people are mad because the movie is successful. Because I understand why he took it out of the movie. Because the movie isn't just about Dr. Dre. It isn't just about Cube. It isn't just about MC Ren. It isn't just about DJ Yella. It isn't just about Eazy-E. It isn't just about DOC and Suge Knight and and Ruthless Records and everything. It's about the whole powerful movement and effect that they had. That's what the whole movie's about. Now, if Dr. Dre were to do his own movie to where it's just about him, and then he didn't throw that in there, then I could understand everybody's attitude towards that. But the movie wasn't just about Dr. Dre. It's about the whole thing as a whole package. You know what I mean? And so they really only, just tapped into out of each character's lives, just little bits and flashes and pieces, because, trying to give, a good idea of what happened with all of them. So the movie wasn't just about him. So I could kind of understand to where they really didn't just dwell on Dr. Dre's personal life. Because the movie's not entirely about Dr. Dre's personal life. It's about the whole movement of NWA and everything that sprung off of it. So, I didn't really see nothing wrong with him leaving it out. Because I was like, that's something he should save for when he does his own movie about his life. I think that probably would have took too much away from the group, because everybody has their little skeletons in their closets. So I think, people need to understand that. Like, if the movie was entirely about Dr. Dre and he left, the bits and pieces and information out about, his personal life and his problems he was having with women, I could understand it. But, I feel like that should be some saved from when it's just his movie, just his story. Not necessarily NWA, because I felt that would have kind of took away from everything. Because, his personal life and his situations with women wasn't really the point of the movie to begin with, is I guess what I'm trying to say. So, but overall, it was very well put together. Very well put together. Because, going in, I was already hyped about the movie when I first caught wind of it. I caught wind of the first theatrical trailer months and months and months ahead of time, so. And I was hyped about it because, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube always deliver, and they did. So, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Good movie. I'm from Texas. Born and raised in Texas. Live in Texas. And this video is being shot in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I'm telling you, when I left that theater, and we're in Texas, I seen so many cars with their windows rolled down and they systems turned all the way up, bumping NWA, man. And that was just cool to me, man. Cause I stepped out the movie theater, and before I could even light me up a square, man. It's everybody was bumping NWA, going back to when music was music, and So it was, and it shows that it definitely had an impact on the watchers, the viewers as well, because everybody jumped in their cars and was blasting NWA as they were leaving the movie theater. And now even here in Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, man, we have people riding down the street bumping NWA now. DOC, who is originally from Dallas, Texas, the irony of that, that just makes it all the more better for us. But overall it was good, man. Y'all go see it. But this has been LavonThaOne, A.K.A. DJ Himalaya. I might follow this up with another video on some different topics that have absolutely nothing to do with Straight Outta Compton. So that's why it's going to get split into 2 videos. But again, it's LavonThaOne, A.K.A. DJ Himalaya. You can follow me on Instagram at LavonThaOne. You can get at me on Facebook at LavonThaOne. Or you can get at me on Twitter, Lavon/DJ Himalaya. And I'm gone.